Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Ebola Syndrome, a Hong Kong thriller from 1996 that was directed by Herman Yau. It earned a Category 3 rating by the Hong Kong Motion Picture Rating System, which essentially means that it has some nasty violence and, if we're lucky, some offensive content. Now, Anthony Wong stars as a total scumbag who kills his former boss and his boss's wife. Wanted by Hong Kong authorities, he escapes to South Africa and begins working at a Chinese restaurant there. One day, he travels with his boss to a South African tribe that is infected with the Ebola virus. He sees a dying, infected tribe member and decides to sexually assault her for some reason, contracting the virus. As luck would have it, however, he is immune to the infection. He becomes a living carrier and decides to spread the disease to others through his bodily fluids. Yes, that's the premise of this film. So yeah, this is just quintessential 1990s Hong Kong exploitation trash. But it's entertaining stuff that gets better every time I watch it. As you might expect, there are some shocking, memorable, and even disgusting scenes here involving bloody violence. It actually the film begins with a nasty murder sequence. Kind of sets the tone. And that's good, because it gets things off to a nice start, as I like to say. There's an autopsy scene that's pretty good as well, if you like that type of thing. And of course, there are some gooey moments involving bodily fluids, because that's the easiest way to spread this infection, given the mutated strain that our main character possesses. So during the latter parts of the film, there are a few interesting shots of the virus spreading, which include an emphasis on sneezing and saliva at times. So it gives you that type of, experience, the paranoia of catching a disease. And that's one of the other things that keeps Ebola Syndrome interesting. As the viewer, you wonder that this guy, what is this guy going to do next? You're constantly wondering this. How is he going to spread this disease? Are there going to be some accidental victims that he's not even targeting, given the contagious nature of it all? Basically, every scene in the film, after he contracts the disease, has the potential to infect other characters, which makes it a consistently engaging experience from a viewer standpoint. The runtime is about an hour and a half, a little bit more than that, I think, so the pacing is pretty brisk. You've probably noticed some similarities of this plot to The Untold Story, which was another Category 3 movie that also starred Anthony Wong as a man who works at a restaurant, but very little time is actually spent in the restaurant in the Ebola Syndrome, so the films are actually very different from one another. But they still would make a great double feature if you're into this kind of thing. I would like to point out that there is one great stuntman scene, a sequence, where an actual person is set on fire for a period of time. Anytime I see that in a movie, I'm impressed, because it's pretty dangerous stuff, and someone did that and did it well in this, so props to that person. Also, this movie has a sprinkling of black humor in it at times, which I appreciated. So, really, what else is there to say about this movie? If you're a fan of potentially inappropriate, violent Hong Kong films, you know you want to watch this. It does have certain elements that automatically make it a no-go for most people. This is certainly not a family film or a politically correct film. It's potentially offensive. But, I'm pretty sure if someone released a movie like this in American theaters in 2020, there would be protests in the streets and Twitter would go completely insane. So, that's kind of the feel you get from this. Sometimes I like to watch a movie that I'm not supposed to watch or could offend a number of people, and Ebola Syndrome fits the bill. It's amusing stuff for a particular kind of viewer, and it is available on physical media in the United States. It's a bit on the pricey side, but not too pricey, I don't believe. As always, I'll see you next time.